Hey guys, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I want to share a concept with you that pain is really important. Pain is a human experience. There is no way to navigate our way through life without experiencing some kind of pain. So let me dig into this here. A real simple way to explain what's going on with our distraction pain, our TMS, our physical pain that's a result of these unresolved emotions, stress, tension, fight or flight, all that stuff. A real simple way to understand this is that when we encounter emotional pain, which is a given, we're just emotional beings, you can't avoid that. When we encounter emotional pain, and we are either taught to reject that and push that away, or we consciously choose, I don't have time for that. When we reject the emotional pain and say, not now, I can't handle that, don't have time for it, emotional pain, not cool, it's unpleasant, I don't like that, we push away emotional pain, that pain has to go somewhere. And in the most simplistic way I can explain it is, when we reject emotional pain, it shows up in our bodies, right? Because our mind and our body are not just connected, they are one. So when you experience pain in life from emotional causes, it's got to go somewhere. So you can either choose to feel that unpleasant emotion and I'm sad, something bad happened, or I'm hurt, somebody insulted me, or I'm angry because this happened, right? You can either choose to feel that, or just recognize that by choosing not to feel the emotional pain, that it's got to go somewhere. And inevitably, as you well know, it shows up in our bodies. So how does this help us? It may help you to just really finally accept the fact that you're an emotional being and that all emotions are okay and acceptable and meant to be felt. Look, you can keep on running away from the truth of your emotions. And I know many of us have had horrible childhoods. Many of you have had even worse childhoods than I did. And it is a challenging thing to get through life. But we're all survivors. We're all warriors. We are all heroes of our own story. We have made it this far. And all I am suggesting is that you get to have a choice. You can either choose to say, while they're unpleasant, I'm going to embrace these emotions. I'm going to welcome them into my home like visitors, my home being my body, my spirit, my mind, whatever. Just decide that I'm going to welcome these emotions. Hold that open house like I talked about in previous videos. Keep the front door open. Allow yourself to feel these emotions, but then decide to allow them to leave when they've been felt. Right? That's the answer. And by doing that and having that become the type of person you are, who allows yourself to honor your emotional experiences instead of pushing them away, it doesn't need to manifest itself in physical pain. And look, we can argue and debate over the mechanisms, whether it be the cortisol, adrenaline, the oxygen deprivation, is that proven, is it not proven, any of that stuff. But let's just think at the highest level, 50,000 foot up, we experience pain. If it is a blunt force trauma to the body, somebody punches us in the face, that's going to hurt, right? But if we experience somebody we love saying, I don't like you, you're a piece of crap, that hurts too. And that emotion needs to be felt in order for it to heal, essentially. In order for the emotion to let go, you need to feel it. And if you choose that, well, I don't like these emotions, they're scary, they're dangerous, I just don't like feeling sad or depressed or angry, that's not who I am, I'm not that type of person. And then you're wondering, how come I have pain? How come I have pain? This doesn't make sense. Why do I have pain? That's why. So again, When we experience pain in our lives, emotional pain, the best thing we can do is honor that and allow ourselves to sit with that unpleasantness called emotional pain. Because it's a reality. You cannot escape it. Whether it be emotional pain created by the outside world or your inner world and your own self-critical, perfectionistic behaviors. Maybe you don't feel you're enough, and that can be infuriating to the inner child. So you have a choice. You can either choose to experience the emotional pain and just make that who you become. Like, I'm an emotional person. Okay, so when I get sad, I allow it. When I get angry, I allow it. Or you can lock all that up into the basement of your subconscious, or whatever we want to believe is going on when we push these emotions away. We're locking them out. And then that's why we encounter physical pain, because pain has to go somewhere. It's energy. And I'm not getting all spiritual here, but there is energy. When we feel that emotional charge, that's a charge. That term exists for a reason, emotional charge. Well, if you are pushing that away, that charge has to go somewhere. And you're pushing it from your awareness into your body, right? And one more reminder, we feel our emotions in our body. We do. When you get sad, we cry and we flush and our eyes puffy, and when we get angry, or we tense up and our neck starts to pop, and we feel a kick in the gut, a heavy heart, or we're all choked up. Emotions are felt in the body. If they weren't felt in the body, it would just be thinking. I'm thinking about something sad. If there's no physical response to the emotion, you're not really feeling. So that's why a lot of my recommendations are to sit with your body and say, what physical sensations am I noticing in my neck, chest, stomach, gut? And allow that to give you a hint as to what emotions are happening, and feel that. But again, the emotional charge needs to go somewhere, and when you reject it and push it away, that charge is gonna look for somewhere else to go, and inevitably, as we all well know, it's going to show up in our bodies as pain, as other symptoms: burning, numbness, tingling, weakness, whether it be drop foot or irritable bowel syndrome, or other gastrointestinal problems, or autoimmune system issues as a result of not being good with these emotions. This is critical, guys. Pain is important, and it's universal. I don't know anybody who never experiences any type of pain whatsoever. And when you look at people who say, I don't get it, my spouse or my friend or my so-and-so never has this stuff, well, maybe they were raised differently and they can feel emotions, or I don't know. It's kind of potluck. Some people don't get TMS pain. But you know what? They might have a shoulder that hurts them and never identify that as TMS. I think it's universal. Most people have some kind of pain disorder that is explained as some type of a medical issue. But invariably, it's likely as a result of this very, very simple concept, is that pain is universal. Pain happens. It's a human experience. And if we reject the emotional pain, it's going into our body. So you get to decide what is better: being upset for a little while and truly just sitting with, how disappointed you are with them, or the world, or the politics, or your job, or your boss, or frankly yourself. Sit with that. Allow yourself to be pissed off at yourself, because honestly, we can't change ourselves until we have somewhat of a kick to change, right? I go up and down with my dietary and food choices. Sometimes I'm good and I lose some weight, and then other times I just say, whatever. I love sweets. I got to stop saying that, because what I say is what's going to be reality. I have a weakness towards sweets, and even that's not empowering. So sometimes I go for that as opposed to staying with what I know is better, staying away from the sweets. You know, sometimes I do it just when I'm all stressed out. I'll eat. Emotional eating, you've heard that term. So off on a little bit of a tangent here, but once again, pain is universal. Pain is almost unavoidable. Sometimes it's internally created through our own expectations or personality types. Sometimes it is the way we choose to react to the world. And again, it is a choice, right? We can find suffering in almost anything. Think about our past. We choose to suffer. Oh, it was awful. We think about our future. We think about suffering. We think about today. We choose suffering, right? Are things really that bad? In some cases, yeah. Not going to deny that for those of you who are really in difficult situations, abusive relationships, can't get out for financial reasons. Look, there are plenty of cases where many of us feel very stuck. And I get that. And as a result, we've got this physical pain stuff going on. But if you choose to truly look at the guttural, brutal truth of where you're at emotionally, it's very likely that once you give the emotional charge a place to go and connect emotionally, you'll loosen up on the physical side. And we also have to combine that with just an awareness of neuroplasticity, that the thing we think about and focus on the most is what's going to wire and get really efficient. So when I say don't wire the pain, don't focus on the pain, focus on what you want, focus on the emotions. That's why, because neuroplasticity will kind of lock these things in. The good news is, when I say lock, you've got the key. You can unlock the wiring. You can unwind it. You can remove that hard wiring and say, I'm going to rewire better thoughts, better beliefs. I'm going to rewire myself to feel my emotions and honor them. And see if this helps. When I say, you know, at its simplest, pain has to go somewhere. So if you have emotional pain, if you allow it to be felt in the body as emotional pain and not reject it and push it away, it's very likely that it's not going to manifest itself into physical pain. And I'll ask you, what feels worse? Crying for a bit because you're sad? Or holding that crap in for decades and having that manifest itself in physical pain, which now has you believing you're broken? So look, guys, we're emotional beings. Accept that. Get over it. Just feel your emotions. Give that electrical charge somewhere to go other than your body, because that's no fun. You know that. So I was just doing some reading, and that concept came up, that pain is universal. It has to go somewhere, and if we reject it emotionally, if we reject feeling sad or angry or jealous or shameful or guilty or whatever, that emotional charge needs to go somewhere. And right now it's probably going to your body and resulting in a variety of different symptoms, including pain. So hopefully this makes it simple. My goal here is to demystify this stuff, take away the mystery of what's going on here, and by doing so, make it a lot less scary. And when you think about all of your pain symptoms as simply displaced pain, displaced emotional pain that's showing up in our bodies because we've been pushing the emotional pain away for so long, it's not quite as scary, is it? So let me know what you think about this. Comment below. If you like this, please share it. The community here is really growing, and I'm loving that. I love your comments. I love the likes. I love the shares. I love the questions. So keep it going. I mean, really, let's try to make this a place where tons of people get better. Tons of people lose their fear. Tons of people really start to understand what's going on. And so with that, I'm going to sign off, but I appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think of this concept, that pain is important. Pain is universal. Pain is unavoidable. And we get to choose where it shows up. Do we choose to allow it to be felt emotionally and thereby it leaves our body alone from a pain perspective? Or do we choose to keep on pushing it away and reject it and not wanting to face the brutal truth of the emotions and then have it show up as physical symptoms? So let me know what you think, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Love you guys and gals.